Welcome and namaste. My name is Charlotte and today I'm going to be talking to you about mantra. So mantra is something that we regularly use in a yoga practice. Perhaps we use it at the start of practice or at the end of practice, and it's also something that is used in Buddhist meditation very commonly. If you go to a temple, you'll very likely hear the monks chanting. So why do we chant? What is mantra? So mantra itself literally translates, if we cut it up, into man, which means the mind, the heart, the soul, all combined. It's the energy of consciousness. To tra, which originates from tarang, which means sound wave. So really when we combine the two, mantra, it means that our soul, our heart, our mind is permeating through a sound wave and traveling to a place of divinity. So it's such a beautiful way of expanding our consciousness and allowing us to connect us with source. And the ways in which mantra can help transform our being and raise our consciousness is something that is astounding. So I'm going to talk you through a few studies so that you can deeply understand how mantra really works at a scientific level. So a very famous study performed by Dr. Emoto in Japan showed that sound has the power to influence the crystalline structure of water. By investigating the effects of positive sounds and negative sounds on the structure of water, we can see that the water that was spoken to in a loving and kind and compassionate way formed beautiful and perfect crystalline structures, as opposed to the water that was spoken to in a negative way. It showed the complete opposite. So this just gives you an insight into how powerful the use of sound is on water. And considering that we're 70% water, you can imagine how much it's affecting our system when we hear negative or positive sounds. And so a really great analogy to think about how sound has an effect on the body is to think about the situation if we were in a room full of people. And there might be someone talking to someone else in a very negative way. Maybe the tone is negative, maybe the words they're saying is negative, but ultimately we're going to feel that effect. We're going to feel that negative or that kind of like dense emotional feeling that person is emitting. And so the same goes though for if we're feeling positive emotions and someone else is being super positive in the same room as us. Maybe someone is saying to someone else words of love. Maybe they are giving them words of encouragement or just being generally really, really kind. We're going to feel that. We're going to feel that positive, high vibrational emotion, and that's going to have an effect on us. And so this is just an example as to how words and sound, specifically sound. And so this is just an example as to how sound and the intention behind the sound carries and then affects our beings as. And so this is just a small example as to the powerful effect sound has on our emotions, on our beings. And so the way that we can think about mantra and the way that we can think about how mantra affects us is to think of it in terms of prana, in terms of life force energy. And so when we're chanting these sacred mantras, we are literally increasing our vibration. So we increase our vibration because we're inviting fresh prana, fresh energy, fresh chi, life force to come into our being and to literally raise us up. So by chanting, we are physically vibrating our vocal cords, and the vibration of the mantras themselves are extremely high frequency, so they just go on to raise us up so much higher. So we can think about prana or life force energy in terms of just the energy in the body. So when we're feeling lethargic or a little bit tired, and we might be physically very able, but when we're feeling very tired and very not motivated and just a bit sluggish, that's an indication that you have low life force in your body. Your pranic level is low. And so by chanting or doing activities like breath work, meditation, yoga, but especially chanting, it can help to straight away, just by beginning to chant, even just for a few minutes, you can start to raise that vibration up and just invite all of that energy back into the body. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. And so another thing that I really love about mantra is that you don't actually need to know what the word means or what the mantra means. And so it really doesn't matter, which I think, especially if there's a long mantra, some of them are quite a few lines long, some of them are pages long, that we can get a bit tied up as I don't know what that one means. But it really is just the sound that we're emitting. It really is just the intention and the sound that we're using and that we're chanting that helps to raise our vibration. So it really doesn't matter. It's useful for the intellectual mind to grasp hold of the meaning, yes. However, you do not need to know exactly what that mantra means to receive the benefits of chanting. And so another study that I love was a study that was conducted by the China Agricultural University. And they did a study on the use of mantra on crop yield. So they had one test with the mantra and one test without. And the results showed that the crops that had the mantra had about a 15% increase in their yield. So not only that, the size of the grains increased, even the pest reduced, and they found the different types of music had the different kinds of impact. Some had a neutral impact and some had a bigger impact, but mantras were specifically efficient. So that just shows the amazing power of the vibrational mantras. Dr. James Hartzell did an experiment with brain mapping using MRI scans. And he took two different groups, one which had experience with mantras and experience with Sanskrit from a very young age, and another group which had no experience whatsoever. And he took both of these groups and compared the results. And the results were remarkable. The grey matter in those who had been chanting from a very young age was significantly higher than the other group. The cortex was thicker and the hippocampus was much more pronounced, which basically means that their long-term and their short-term memory was significantly greater, their emotional intelligence was better, and their ability to make decisions was also much larger. So mantras can really help you when you are in a difficult emotional situation. So mantra can really help if we're stuck in a particular thought pattern. It can help break the perpetual loop of thoughts that are circling around in the head by almost just cutting that chatter. So by repeatedly chanting a phrase or a word, it's going to just help to completely deregulate that pattern of thought. So it's not only going to help to override that thought process, but also raise your vibration in the process. And so mantras are going to make you feel so much better because number one, you've overridden that thought. You've immediately propelled yourself into the present moment, and that itself is the most powerful place that you can be. Always in the present moment. You want to keep coming back, and that's what mantra is going to help you do. So when you're in that present moment, when you're here, this is the space for creation. This is the space of pure love, pure light. And so when you're in this space of recognizing that love and that light and that consciousness, everything seems easier. Challenges are much simpler. It's much easier to give love, much easier to receive. It's just much easier. Life is so much easier when we're acting from a place of love, from a place of presence. And mantra helps us to get there. So I've had a personal relationship with mantra, and I would love to share it. I would love to share one of the first chants that I've ever practiced, which is Om Mani Padme Hum. So this mantra is a Buddhist mantra, and it's probably one of the most famous mantras, and it's included in the HappyChant app. And so I'll tell you a little bit about Om Mani Padme Hum. And so Om Mani Padme Hum is translated by the Dalai Lama as the jewel of the lotus. So the lotus flower in Buddhism being particularly treasured, as the lotus has to grow from the mud to then emerge and open into 1,000-petaled flower. It's very, very symbolic of the spiritual journey. As Thich Nhat Hanh would say, no mud, no lotus. We have to grow from the challenges, especially when we are chanting. Sometimes the mind will want to divert. Sometimes the mind will want to distract you and avoid being in that moment, in the moment of chanting. And it really is this constant practice of calming back back to the chant and back to focusing, which enables us to swim out of the mud and emerge as that beautiful flower at the end. And it really just allows us to grow up from the mud and come towards the light. And so Alison Kremer, which is a Ayurvedic practitioner and a yoga teacher, speaks about this mantra. And she says, by invoking this mantra, we are trusting that jewels or wisdom can be found by doing the work to come out of the mud, the darkness, the ignorance, and into beauty and grace. And she also says that when she chants or teaches this beautiful mantra in class, she thinks about how as we are chanting it, millions of people over the world are chanting it at the same time. And for that matter, it links us to the lineage of those who have chanted it in the past and those who will be chanting it in the future. It is truly a gift to feel the connection of other souls doing the work just as we are, doing our best to rise, to ascend, to move into a life of freedom and joy. Om Mani Padme Hum is a beautiful mantra and I'm so excited to share it with you. So we're going to try about a minute or two of chanting together. So if you'd like to join me, we're going to sit up nice and straight, spine nice and straight. Please rest in a comfortable position. Of course, you can have your back supported if you like. And I'm going to just go on my phone and open the HappyChant app. Okay, so here we go. HappyChant. And I'm going to click on the compassion. So under mantras, there is a compassion tab. So we can click on the compassion. And it's going to come up now a little bit of information about Om Mani Padme Hum. And we're going to press start chanting. So HappyChant is an amazing app because we can literally start to virtually track the amount of times that we're chanting, and it helps us to stay extremely focused, as our mind of course likes to wander, especially where we're in the early stages of chanting. This app can really, really help. So you can choose an option, whether you'd like music in the background, whether you'd like to go slow or fast, and you can set a particular goal as to how many chants you'd like to do. And so before we begin our chanting, let's just place one hand on our heart and one hand in the lower belly, just so that we can connect a little bit more. The heart being our space of love, compassion, and our lower belly being our space of our subconscious and inner guidance. So just placing your hands here, and we're going to take 3 deep breaths in together, in through the nose, out the nose. So when you're ready, spine nice and straight, let's inhale, the lower belly expands for 1. And exhale, it falls. And again for 2, let's inhale through the nose. And exhale, it falls. Last round, inhale deeply. And exhale, the belly falls down. Beautiful. Just spending a moment here, turning your listening inward now. Just paying attention to what's going on in the body. Just sitting with the self. Just acknowledging how you're feeling. And then when you're ready, coming right back. Okay, so opening the app if you haven't already, we're coming to chant our first chant together, Om Mani Padme Hum. And let's begin. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And just closing the eyes and just allow again your awareness to turn inwards. Try long and deep breathing through the nose and just notice. Feel the vibrations. Feel every cell of your being vibrating now. And very gently open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed the chanting. It's truly such a transformational tool, such a beautiful tool for increasing our well-being and just spreading light to every corner of our body, of our mind, and of our lives. So stay tuned for more videos, and I send you so much love, and have a beautiful day. Thank you, and namaste.